Hey everyone, big changes are on the horizon for Bedford's school start times, and they're planned for the fall of 2027. It really all boils down to two choices, option A or option B. So let's jump right in and break down what each of these could mean for students and for families.
So, you might be asking, why are we even talking about this? Well, it really all comes down to the science. The American Academy of Pediatrics has been pretty clear that middle and high schools should start no earlier than 8:30 in the morning. This whole discussion is about aligning our school schedules with teenagers' natural sleep cycles to improve their well-being, their mood, and of course, their ability to learn. All right, that brings us to our first big takeaway, the two paths forward. The community is looking at option A and option B, and they really are very different approaches to how we handle busing and when the school day actually starts. And this right here is the heart of the difference. Option A would create a totally new two-tier busing system, which kind of groups elementary and secondary schools together. Option B, on the other hand, keeps our current three-tier system, but does this flip-flop, where the elementary schools start earlier and the secondary schools, middle and high, start later. Okay, let's look at the actual numbers. With option A, you're looking at the elementary schools starting right around 8 a.m. and the middle and high schools kicking off around 8:30 a.m., though there might be a slight stagger between them. Now, option B is a whole different ballgame. Davis Elementary would start earliest at 7:45, Lane would be at 8:22, and the older students would start much later, around 8:50 or even 8:55 in the morning. So let's move on to our second big takeaway, comparing the costs. And this isn't just about the school budget, it's also about the trade-offs and community resources that come with each option. With option A, that two-tier bus system is more compressed, which basically means you need more buses on the road at the same time, and that has a price tag. We're talking about a potential budget reallocation of between $200,000 and $300,000 every year just to cover those transportation costs. Now, option B, you see that big zero, and it looks pretty good, right? From a transportation budget standpoint, it seems to be cost neutral. But that little asterisk is there for a very important reason. The later dismissal times for older students create a domino effect that has its own set of hidden costs for the community. So what are these hidden costs? Well, think about it. If high school sports and activities end later, they're using fields and gyms later into the evening. That can displace youth and adult recreation programs that rely on those same spaces, which might mean the community has to rent extra gym space or find more turf field access just to fit everyone in. Okay, on to our third and final takeaway. And folks, this is a big one. There's a key change to the school calendar that would be necessary to make either of these options work. And it's an adjustment that everyone would need to prepare for. And here it is, to create a consistent schedule that meets all the state's time on learning requirements. Both option A and option B are built on the assumption that the district will get rid of early dismissal days on Wednesdays. That would mean school ends at the same time every single day of the week. All right, so to wrap this up in a quick summary, option A means a two-tier bus system. Older students get out earlier, but it costs more from the budget. Option B keeps the three-tier system. It's cost neutral for transportation, but it dismisses students later, which creates those potential hidden costs for community recreation. At the end of the day, both of these plans are trying to improve student health, but they each come with very different trade-offs. The school committee wants to hear from everyone, students, staff, and families, before making a final decision for fall 2027. So, what matters most to you? Now's the time to make your voice heard.